Ever since we started recording music, there has been this one constant battle that every single producer and engineer has fought. And that is, how in the world do you get a vocal to sit just right in the mix? You want it to feel big, to have space, to be part of the song's world. But you also need every single word to be heard. It's a classic tug of war. And that, right there, is the vocal producer's dilemma. It's this fundamental conflict, isn't it? On one hand, you're trying to build this incredible atmosphere, but on the other, you're trying to tell a story, and that story, it lives and breathes in the lyrics.
So what do you do? Do you have to choose? Do you sacrifice that gorgeous, dreamy space just so people can understand what the singer is saying? Or is there a way to actually have the best of both worlds?
Let's really break it down. Over here, you've got that lush ambience. That's your reverb, your delays. It's what gives the vocal depth and emotion and glues everything together. But if you lean too hard into that, you end up washing out the very thing you're trying to feature, the actual words, the lyrics. And without those, you lose that all-important connection with the listener.
But what if there was another way? What if the technology itself was smart enough to get what you're trying to do and could just solve this problem for you automatically? Well, that's exactly where this idea of a smart or lyric-aware reverb comes into the picture. And here it is. This is a reverb that was literally designed to fix this one problem. Its entire purpose isn't just to add space, it's to add space while actively protecting the words. I mean, this is a totally new way of thinking about vocal production.
So the key, the real magic here, is that this thing is adaptive. It's not some static effect that you just set and forget. It's actually listening to the singer in real time and making these tiny, intelligent adjustments to make sure the lyric, the story, is always right there up front.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works. We're going to look at the main controls that give this reverb its lyric awareness and let it do that tricky balancing act we've been talking about. And it all really starts right here with this status light, words protected. When you see that, you know the brain of the whole operation is switched on. The reverb is actively listening and doing its job to keep every word crystal clear. So what is word protection actually doing to the sound? Well, it's using some seriously clever tech to hear when a word is being sung. The moment it detects that lyric, it intelligently ducks the reverb down, just for a split second. It suppresses it just enough so it doesn't smear the sound. The word cuts right through, and then the reverb comes back.
Now, the way you, the producer, get to shape this process is with these two main knobs, clarity and bloom. These are your creative controls for telling the reverb exactly how to behave.
Think of it like this. The clarity knob, that's like your spotlight operator. It's carving out a perfect circle of light right around the singer, making sure every word is sharp and in focus. Then you have the bloom knob. That's like the gorgeous stage lighting. Its job is to swell up and fill the silence between the words, creating all that beautiful, lush atmosphere. So it's a really simple but elegant little dance. Step 1, a word is detected. Step 2, while that word is happening, the reverb gets out of the way. And step 3, the second the word is over, the reverb tail just blooms beautifully into that empty space. All right, so that's the tech. But why does this actually matter? What's the real-world impact? Well, it's not just a cool trick. It fundamentally changes your workflow. And honestly, the emotional power of a song.
I mean, the benefits here are huge. For starters, you get that pro-level vocal sound way faster. You can forget about spending hours and hours manually automating reverb levels on every single line. Because the space is now reacting to the performance, the emotional impact is just better. And the biggest thing, the artist's story, their message, it never gets lost in a sea of reverb. Someone put it this way, and I think this just nails it. It's like having a little assistant engineer living inside your reverb plugin, and their only job is to make sure the vocal is always the start of the show. That's what this feels like.
All of this leads to a much bigger, kind of mind-blowing question. We're moving away from tools that just follow our commands and into a world where our tools actually seem to understand our artistic goals. And it really makes you wonder, what's next? What happens when our creative tools finally understand our art?